On a rainy day, Paul Ruskevich, a fourth-generation onion grower, surveys his farm in the muckland of Orange County. His family's fields, made up of the fine, nutrient-rich black dirt, are surrounded by 22 miles of drainage ditches that were put in place decades ago when the mucklands were drained.
Sometimes if you have a real heavy rain shower, you'll get washouts. So the dirt will wash into the ditch and create a blockage. So you have to go in and clean that out.
But Ruskevich is concerned what the cleanout may cost him if the Environmental Protection Agency and the Army Corps of Engineers get their way. They are looking to broaden the scope of the Clean Water Act and what is considered to be waters of the U.S.
It's going to broadly expand the jurisdiction of EPA and Army Corps and give them jurisdiction over any type of water, whether it be small ponds, streams, even the drainage ditches here on our farm that we rely on for drainage.
The EPA's vague language and the changes to the rule has led to some of this confusion. Here are some examples. As it's proposed, normally dry land that only holds flowing water following a heavy rain could be considered an ephemeral stream. Because of changes in the technical definitions, some ditches may actually be classified as tributaries of the U.S. And those farm exemptions promised by the EPA are actually limited in scope and do not take into account normal farming practices. Things like applying fertilizer or building a farm fence could become a violation of the Clean Water Act if a farmer doesn't have a proper permit.
You can imagine that could be a bureaucratic nightmare if you had to, go through that process every time you needed to do routine things.
It could actually delay time-sensitive work. Planning can't wait days or even weeks for a federal permit to come through. Howard Regner of Quiet Meadows Farm outside Utica has the same concerns during a year that has seen short windows of opportunity for field work between rainstorms. He raises field crops along with his livestock and takes great pride in the care he has for the environment.
Crop rotation, we practice erosion control. This is our livelihood. The better we do as far as protecting our land, the better we are as far as our bottom line. And we already have soil and water conservation in the county, and we have DEC for New York State, so why do we need redundancy with the federal government? It just doesn't make any sense.
But it could cost his farm a lot of cents and dollars, especially when his fields see ponding after a good rain.
Some years we have good years, some years don't have such good years, so if we have to pay for permits or they fine us that when we did nothing wrong, it's just going to be a huge burden on the bottom line as far as our operation.
A potential burden for many. Ruskevich sits on his county legislature and believes all of us would ultimately pay more to comply with changes to the Clean Water Act.
Not only farmers, but municipalities, homeowners, anytime a county or a town or what have you would have to do drainage work along roadsides, replace culverts, stuff like that, they could be subject to the same types of regulations. So, which again adds to cost and adds to red tape.
Higher costs, more bureaucracy, and greater government control over private property. The repercussions are a clear threat to family farms in New York and our local food system. That's why thousands of Farm Bureau members are asking EPA to ditch the rule.